A flash of blue light, an emergency spell circle snapped open in midair. Potions spilled out like falling stars. Pop, no hesitation. The bald mage crushed the seal, tilting the bottle back as mana flooded his throat. Glug, glug. Cold energy surged through burned veins, stitching shattered reserves together by force alone. Above him, the firestorm hawk dove, a living meteor. Flames tore the sky apart as it descended, heat crushing the land before it even struck. Wind screamed, the ground split. The mage planted his staff into the earth, robes snapping violently as power roared back to life. He laughed, raw, cracked, fearless. Fuck your granny, since you're gonna kill me either way. Mana erupted outward. If this was the end, he would take the monster with him.
The sky erupted. Two blazing figures tore through the light, claws extended, killing intent screaming through the air. The mage didn't retreat. He laughed, mad, broken, fearless, lifting the mushroom-shaped staff high above his head. "Then come!" His voice cracked like thunder. "I'll take your child down with me!" Mana surged violently, ripping through his body with no regard for survival. The firestorm hawk roared, flames twisting into a spiraling inferno as it dove. Wind collapsed inward, heat crushed the earth. The impact was inevitable. Then, everything stopped. Flames froze midair. The storm hung silent, as if the world itself had drawn a breath. Even the monster hesitated. Something unseen had entered the battlefield. A foot touched the ground. The earth cracked beneath it. Wind screamed outward as a body descended from the frozen storm, flesh and power colliding like a falling god. Cloth tore, muscles tightened. Then vomit splattered the dirt. The man straightened slowly, laughing through blood. They say high-ranked monsters have intelligence, emotions. His eyes lifted, sharp and cruel. Guess that's true. Silence answered him. The firestorm hawk didn't move. The man raised the mushroom egg in his hand, cracked, pulsing, fragile. His voice dropped, cold as steel. "What's wrong? Can't bring yourself to attack me now?" He tightened his grip. "Obey, or I smash this egg into pieces." The threat hung heavy. This wasn't a battle anymore. It was a gamble with a life.
The firestorm hawk's eye trembled. Rage burned beneath the flames, but it did not attack. The egg was more important. The man grinned. He raised his staff to the sky. The clouds answered. Wind spiraled upward, roaring like a summoned god. Thunderbolt! Lightning tore the heavens apart. A pillar of blue-white fury slammed downward, swallowing the battlefield in blinding light. The ground screamed. Air shattered. Power erased everything in its path. Within the storm, a shadow convulsed, feathers cracking under divine force. This wasn't magic meant to defeat. It was punishment. And as the thunder faded, one truth remained clear. Mercy had already left this fight. Lightning wrapped the sky like chains. The firestorm hawk screamed, not in fury, but in pain. Electricity ripped through its wings, freezing muscle and nerve mid-flight. The heavens released it. The beast fell. Not like a king, but like a stone. The earth burst open on impact, feathers scattered, flames sputtered out, replaced by crackling blue sparks. The mighty guardian twitched and stopped, paralyzed, alive but helpless. From above, the man exhaled slowly. His spell had not killed the monster. That was never the plan, because now the egg had no protector.
and the real battle was about to begin. The sky was quiet now, too quiet. The thunder had passed, and what remained was a man standing above a fallen god. He laughed, not loud at first, but sharp, broken, and cruel. "Do you know how much suffering I've endured?" His eyes burned red with madness. Cast aside, called useless, trampled by those born with talent. Today was different. Today, power finally answered him. Step by step, he walked toward the paralyzed beast. Each footstep echoed like a verdict. High-ranking monster, talent, destiny. He spat the words like curses. The firestorm hawk tried to rise, but its body betrayed it. The man raised his staff, not to fight, not to prove strength, but to humiliate. "You're no different from me now." His laughter cracked the air, because for the first time in his life, he was the one standing above everything. His smile lingered, slow, satisfied. Victory tasted sweet, not because the monster was strong, but because it was helpless. Phew, that was satisfying. The words left his mouth like a final judgment. He raised his hand, and the air warped. From the void, a vial emerged, swirling green, alive with malice. Synthetic poison, crafted by hands that knew resentment better than mercy. Power, born not from talent, but obsession. He didn't hesitate. He crushed the bottle. Glass shattered, poison erupted, spreading like a curse across the battlefield. The ground screamed, the air rotted. This wasn't a fight anymore. It was an execution. And as the toxins spilled into the world, the man believed that at last he had become the one who decides who lives and who dies. The poison spread, but it did not end him. Instead, something awakened. Green light burned behind his eyes, sharp, cold, and furious. The battlefield trembled, the air screamed, then froze. One by one, crystal spears formed from nothingness. Ice, not born of winter, but rage refined into killing intent. They fell like judgment from the sky, whistling, hunting. The man stood unmoved, staff raised, lightning still crackling across his skin. Ice shattered against thunder. Spears pierced the ground where death was promised, but not delivered. This was no longer a monster cornered. This was a predator pushed too far. The poison failed, the fear changed sides, and for the first time, the man realized he may have just created the very nightmare he believed he was strong enough to destroy. The spears landed, not as a warning, but as an execution. Green and blue crystal tore through flesh, pinning the beast to the earth. Impact after impact, the ground cracked, lightning snapped, blood sprayed. A scream ripped through the field, raw, furious, filled with pain that even monsters fear. The body twitched, convulsed, then silence. Smoke curled upward as electricity crawled across shattered crystal and broken wings. The monster lay motionless, nailed to the soil like a trophy of war. No roar, no counterattack, only the sound of sparks fading into the wind. It looked finished. But battles like this never end quietly, because when power clashes with hatred, what dies first is never certainty. The staff rose again. Red light bled into the sky as the ruby core pulsed, alive, hungry. He tightened his grip, breathing hard. "Still can't move, huh?" The monster's eye twitched. Alive, broken but alive. The ruby flared brighter, casting crimson shadows over blood-soaked feathers. He sneered. Victory was already decided in his mind. "After you die," he muttered, "I'll smash all of your dumb eggs into pieces." The crystal shined, power swelling, killing intent sharpening into certainty. But beneath the broken wings, an eye burned, not with fear, with rage. The earth trembled softly, and for the first time since the lightning fell, something answered back. Lightning split the heavens. The ruby staff burned red, piercing the storm itself. Thunder roared in answer, not in warning, but in applause. Beneath his feet, the fallen monster lay silent, wings soaked in blood. Camouflage ended. He laughed, loud, unrestrained. "This is it!" His eyes shone with madness as the storm gathered above him. "I'll finally become the main character." The wind howled, feeding his delusion. The middle-aged mage becomes invincible after leveling up. He threw his head back, laughter tearing from his chest, certain of victory, drunk on power, blind to the truth. Because behind him, beneath broken feathers and crackling ice, something was still breathing, and the storm had not chosen him. The laughter stopped. In a single heartbeat, fear replaced triumph. His eyes widened. Too late. The wind screamed as his body was yanked forward, power dragging him through the air like a rag doll. Mushroom bash. The ruby staff glowed, but its light flickered, unstable, desperate. He swung anyway, a reckless strike. The mushroom core whistled through the sky, cracking the air itself. Dim. The ruby shine dulled mid-swing, mana draining faster than his confidence. His mouth opened, not to boast, but to scream. Because this wasn't a finishing blow. It was panic, and somewhere ahead of him, through blood, feathers, and broken ground, the true hunter was already moving. The mushroom spun through the sky, tumbling end over end, a small body caught between gods. The wind howled past it, danger missing by a breath. Below, broken feathers and blood stained the ground, but the strike had failed. The mushroom dropped. Thud. Soft earth. Safe landing. A moment of silence followed. Then, a shaky breath. Safe. Relief washed over the tiny hero, heart pounding, body trembling. For just a second, the battlefield felt far away. But safety in this world is always temporary. Above him, the sky remained wide and cruel, and somewhere nearby, rage was still alive, watching, waiting. The relief didn't last. Blood-stained feathers trembled. Then, two eyes snapped open, burning, focused, rage sharpened into killing intent. The griffin moved. In a blur of wind and blood, its massive wings tore through the sky. Boom! The air screamed as its body became a weapon, charging straight ahead, unstoppable. The ground below shattered under the pressure, grass flattening, dust exploding outward. Ka! A furious cry ripped across the battlefield, shaking the horizon itself. This wasn't an attack, this was a hunt. And somewhere ahead, small, quiet, barely breathing, the mushroom hero was back in its sights. The chase had begun. Pain slammed through his body as he crashed to the ground. The wind was knocked out of him. His vision spun. What the hell was that just now? Blood trickled down his lip as fear finally caught up. I need to escape. His fingers tightened, grasping the last lifeline he had left. A scroll. Recall scroll. One use, one chance.
return to a safe location if he had time to infuse it with mana. Then, a presence, burning, overwhelming. An eye opened in the smoke, glowing like molten gold. No time, no hesitation. Mana erupted from his body. Flames coiled around his arm as he roared, "Fire magic, infernal pillar!" The ground screamed. A column of fire blasted skyward, turning desperation into defiance. This wasn't escape anymore. This was survival. The flames answered his scream. A pillar of fire swallowed the sky, roaring higher, brighter, hotter than anything before. Ah! His body burned. His veins felt like molten iron. The magic didn't just erupt, it devoured him. His eyes ignited, glowing white as his sanity cracked under the heat. This wasn't ordinary fire magic. This was something ancient, something forbidden. From the shadows, small eyes trembled. The mushroom hero watched in silence, warmth washing over his cap as sparks drifted like embers in the air. That pressure, his instincts screamed danger. Is that the mother bird's magic? The name alone made the forest hold its breath. A power meant to protect life, now twisted into destruction. As the fire raged on, one truth became clear. This battle had crossed a line, and once the flames died, nothing would be the same again. The flames didn't fade. They condensed, pulled inward, compressed until the fire screamed. Whoosh! Light exploded across the battlefield. From the inferno, something descended. Level up. The words burned themselves into reality. Wings unfolded, forged from pure golden fire. Not illusion, not magic alone. Authority. The mother bird's power had taken form. Ash and smoke parted as the figure rose, eyes glowing like twin suns, gaze sharp enough to pierce fate itself. Every creature nearby froze. Predators bowed. The land fell silent. Even the flames obeyed. This wasn't just a level up. It was an awakening. And as those burning eyes locked forward, one truth became terrifyingly clear. A new calamity had been born. Firestorm Hawk, level 48. The name alone crushed the air. Flames roared skyward as the hawk spread its wings, each feather burning like a living sun. Cry! The cry tore through the battlefield. A shockwave followed, wind spiraling outward, grass flattened, stones lifted and shredded into dust. From above, the world spun into a blazing vortex, and at its center, a tiny figure lay trembling. The mushroom hero's breath hitched. His camouflage was gone, his body screamed, his instincts howled one word: run. But the shadow overhead swallowed the sun. This wasn't prey and predator anymore. This was judgment. And as the firestorm hawk locked onto him, wings beating like drums of war, survival became a miracle he could no longer afford. The wind died, smoke settled, and in the silence, something massive stepped forward. The mushroom hero froze, his small body trembled as a towering shadow swallowed him whole. Feathers burned black at the edges, flames curled along its wings, and those eyes, glowing, unblinking, locked onto him. Step. The ground cracked beneath the firestorm hawk's talons. He tried to breathe, his chest refused, every instinct screamed to flee, but his legs wouldn't move. Sweat slid down his face as he stared up, face to face with extinction. No skills, no tricks, no escape.
just a tiny mushroom staring into the eyes of a living disaster. The hawk leaned closer, and for one terrifying moment, it simply stared, as if deciding whether he was worth killing. Crack! A sharp sound split the air. The mushroom hero flinched, but the blow never came. Crack! Crack! Thin fractures raced across the shell above him. Then it broke. Pieces fell away, tumbling into the grass, and from inside, something small blinked at the light. A tiny bird poked its head out, soft feathers, curious eyes, a little flame flickering harmlessly on its crown. Ta-da! The chick looked left, looked right, as if wondering where it was. No rage, no killing intent, just new life. It hopped down clumsily from the broken shell, landing beside the stunned mushroom hero. The terror from moments ago vanished, replaced by silence and disbelief. The firestorm hawk had hatched. The mushroom hero lay frozen. His cracked shell rested beside him, silent. Then it twitched. Slowly, it turned. A tiny flame flickered into view. The newborn chick tilted its head, studying the strange mushroom in front of it. Chirp! The sound was soft, harmless, but to the mushroom hero it was terrifying. His eyes widened. Exclamation! The chick suddenly jumped, landing straight onto his cap. Sizzle! Ah! Hot! 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 The mushroom hero yelped as smoke curled upward. Meanwhile, the chick chirped happily, hopping around without a care, tiny flames dancing with every step. No destruction, no apocalypse, just chaos, the adorable kind. And as the chick nuzzled closer, the mushroom hero realized the firestorm hawk wasn't his executioner. It had imprinted on him. To be continued.